Hi, this is Gadi Elkan with Dallas International Film Festival and Silic Film News, and we're here with the filmmaker from Melody, Jean-Pierre. Introduce yourself.
Howdy, I'm Jean-Pierre. I'm from Los Angeles, and I made a short film called Melody, and it's playing the Dallas International Film Festival. If you get a chance, please check it out.
You know, Jean-Pierre, I was kind of blown away. I didn't expect this story to be so compact and yet so much fun. It was interesting. Like in 11 minutes, you capture a lot in this film. Where did this story come from? Did it come from a specific person? I mean, where did this spark come from?
I grew up in a small town called Santa Barbara. It's just north of Los Angeles, and it's kind of like it's now more of a tourist community. When I was growing up many years ago, it was more of a beach town. And so it just happened on a frequent enough basis where a couple years would pass, but I would always be like, walking into the grocery store, and there would be a guy with the white van selling speakers or a stereo. So I thought to myself, I had seen this movie Revanche, which is another one, which is a film that unravels and it just keeps going. It never really comes back. It just keeps moving forward. And I was like, I'd love to create something where you really don't know where the story's going. And then I thought this idea of the stereo and the van came into mind. And so that was kind of a way to propel this character forward.
I like that element of movement throughout, too.
Yeah.
Is that something that was always there with that idea, that you needed to move along, basically the pace and everything?
Yeah, I mean, I think that there's an urgency to keep things connected, because I think the more space that goes on, I don't know, I may be revealing too much about the film, but I felt like the more time that went away between when our character, Jack, initially meets these people at the back of this van and when he kind of sees them again, I felt that had to be compact enough so that it was realistic. But in terms of the pace of the film, I think that just evolved in the editing. I mean, there was always this idea of the main character, Jack, kind of waiting around, searching for these people, waiting, but it's also like once you sit with that for a minute, you have a beat with that, you kind of get it. So like to make that prolonged would seem like a waste of time.
Was it fun to not shoot in LA, like to have that just outside of LA feel to it, like you said, because you are from Santa Barbara?
Yeah, I mean, we did shoot in Los Angeles, and I did have a section of the film where he's following these people in the van on the freeway, and I realized that idea was playing to the geography of LA, and that had no relevance to the story or the story beats. So I removed that, and so then it really did start to feel a little more unique in that way. And I, it was just, all the locations were from friends. So it was really like a community effort because the budget was so low.
Where'd you find the cast?
The lead actor, Rahad Coulter Stevenson, he was part of a cold reading series in Los Angeles. There's a theater group called Naked Angels, and Naked Angels is in New York and Los Angeles, and they do a cold reading series called Tuesdays at 9. And I had gone to that with my wife, who's also a writer-director, Shaz Bennett, and she was looking, she was developing her script through that program of the reading series, and I saw Rahad, and it was interesting because he would read and he would have an entire group of people just sitting there like on his every word and would be just very comfortable sitting there with that attention. And his energy is very kind of similar to mine in the sense that he's a very like positive and jovial person. And I just was like, oh, this is kind of like would be my alter ego in a way in terms of him. And then the gentleman who sells the stereo, Slick, Sam, he actually came to me from another filmmaker, another director, Mike Ott, who said, you have to like have this guy come in. And he's just so charismatic that I was like, okay, I have to put you in this film somehow. And then the two actresses I actually just got through an open call. So I was very fortunate to find like talent. There's a lot of talent in LA that is not working. So if you do an open casting call, you actually will get a lot of good people showing up.
When we were doing our previews for the festival, they asked me to pick a shorts program. Like, this is the one you should go check out. Shorts 4 was the program I picked.
Oh, awesome.
Have you been able to see any other films?
Yeah.
What have you thought about it?
I mean, what's interesting about short films is that there's no set form. With a feature film, there's a 3-act structure. And with a short film could be a joke, like a quick setup punchline, or it could be like, I feel like my work has more brushstrokes in it as opposed to like quick setups and payoffs. So it's just interesting to see how people approach it, what their strengths are and what the blind spots are. I mean, I look at my film and I go, oh yeah, I didn't even know that I should be looking out for that particular detail, and now I see it, you know. So it's interesting to just kind of learn from other filmmakers. But I mean, I think the program was really strong and it played really well last night. I mean,
Yeah.
part of the whole shorts experience, because I find in Los Angeles it ends up being like the friends of the filmmakers, but when you get outside of LA, it becomes the community. So Dallas is one of those film festivals that just draws a strong community. So you're seeing like genuine film goers coming out to a shorts program, and that's always exciting.
What did they catch all the beats? I mean, what did you think of the audience?
I thought they were into it. Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things that play in subtext. So if you really are paying close attention and read the film, some of the surprises aren't as big of surprises. But I was happy with it. I mean, the sound was great, because it was a 5:1 mix. And
Yeah.
in previous screenings, I'd only had a stereo mix.
Mm.
And what was interesting is mine played a little louder. And I don't know if it was the way it was mixed or whatever, but I was like, whoa, all right, it's happening. So that was fun.
What was it like knowing that you'd be bringing the film to Dallas? What was that phone call like?
Well, actually, it was an email from Sarah Harris, and I've actually played Dallas before with my short Izzy and Salvador, and I was just really happy because I've had great experiences here, and I like Dallas. I like coming out.
It seems like Sarah has got the right beat for short film, especially. And what's it like going to a festival where you know short film's important to the festival itself and the programmers, the lead program?
I think it's always important to film festivals and programmers when they're creating it. It's just about the audience. And that's what, I might be repetitious here, but the Dallas audience really comes out genuinely for shorts as well as features. So I find that exciting. It's just, when you live in Los Angeles, there are so many events that everyone becomes jaded. It's really hard to even get friends to be engaged to come out to an event. So when you come out to a place where the same type of event is happening, but the community responds, it's just exciting. So for me, to find out that, when Sarah emailed me and said, would you accept the invitation? First of all, it was an immediate yes. And then it was just very exciting because it's not often nowadays, everything lives online, so it's not often you get to see your work in a theater. So it was just like, oh great, I'm gonna have this great theater experience and I'm gonna have it with the Dallas audience, and I don't see how it could go wrong, So that's why I actually came out for the fest, because, I had to take time off of work and, all the expenses, but it's totally worth it.
Awesome. Well, JP, I know we appreciate you coming back and bringing another gem to our festival. Can't wait to see what happens in the future. And can you give us any tidbits of what you're working on now?
Right now I'm helping my wife, Shaz Bennett, edit her feature film, Alaska's a Drag. So I've just been doing some of the building work, and that's been mind-blowing in terms of learning what it really takes to deliver a feature film. Learning about not only technically what needs to go on, but in terms of character and story structure. I have a tendency and a desire to just make work. So I even with Melody, I felt like I could have spent more time writing it and developing the story, but I just felt it was time to make something. And so I'm definitely feeling that itch again because I've been spending so much time in post. I'm actually going to work with Rahad, the lead actor in Melody, to do kind of more of a webisode series, something that we basically make a short film a month and just put it on the web. So I'm doing that, and I have feature scripts that are always getting rewritten. So,
Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I can't wait to see what's next.
Well, thanks. Thanks for having me.
Definitely appreciate it.
All right.
Thanks, Jean-Pierre.